Hello, YouTubers. Look what I got here. Had a cold winter so far up here in Canada, and I didn't want to take my other RCs out just because it's so cold and brittle. The plastic would probably just snap if you ever wiped them out or anything. I didn't want to start snapping any arms. So I was playing around on YouTube, and I've seen the rock crawlers, and kind of wanted to see what the rock crawl craze was all about. Um, did a little bit of research. Rock crawlers are a lot more expensive than you would think. I was looking at some low C 118 scales, which up this way you're looking at over $300 to get. For the 124 scales, they were more between the $100 to $200 range. But I found most of them to have plastic suspension links. And I don't know, like even being a brand name, maybe just obviously cheaper made. So I went down to a local hobby shop here and picked up a Redcat Everest 16. And what a lot of you are thinking, oh my God, Redcat. They have a bad reputation. As far as so far my experience with this crawler, it has been very good. Redcat actually did some good research on these and built themselves a awesome little crawler. It's aluminum chassis, aluminum suspension links. The end caps, obviously, suspension link caps aren't aluminum; they're plastic. But I mean, for this size, what do you expect? Aluminum shock caps, which was also surprising, and lots of articulation in the suspension. It's an able little crawler. As far as downfalls to these Redcat Everest 16s that I found so far, one would be the body. You gotta trim that rear fender. I've already trimmed them quite a bit, and sometimes in a climbing position where it's really articulating, you can hear it still catches the tire. So it makes that god awful noise. So I'll have to trim that back a little bit more. You think they would have designed a body with maybe a little shorter or less fender there. Don't know what happened there, but the other downfall would be the controller takes 8 AA batteries, which is a lot. I mean, it's just your typical Redcat controller, nothing too fancy. It does have the compartment with your on-off switch, your steering trim and throttle trim, all that stuff. But I mean, what do you expect? I got this for $180 at the door. Now that's up in here in Canada, where everything's, especially RC stuff with the exchange rate right now, is expensive. It comes with, this is the ready to run. It comes with a 7.2 volt, 1100 capacity nickel metal hydrate battery. It's got kind of a mini Traxxas type connector. And the charger it comes with actually has a little LED there. And when you plug it in, it's red and it goes to yellow to green as it charges. So I thought that was actually kind of neat and helpful. If you come down and check on your charge status, it's gone yellow. You're getting close to being a full charge, and when it goes green, you're good to go. And it probably only takes about 45 minutes to an hour to charge the battery, which isn't bad, considering it's just a cheap wall charger. And you get probably a half hour of straight playtime on off a charge on this, which I thought was impressive. I was doing some climbing for about a half hour straight of a little wood course, wood I made down here in the basement. I have another video of it running over that wood course. If you want to kind of see it in action, there's lots of videos on YouTube of these little guys in action. And if you watch reviews of other people have done on these, they're generally good reviews, except for the body and a few minor things. The servo actually seems powerful enough. It has enough torque that, you know, if you're up in a position and you turn the tires, it will actually shift the weight of the vehicle to get you in a better position to climb over something. It has aluminum bead locks, front and back of the rim. I don't know if you can see that in the light on the camera, maybe back there. Gives the wheels a little bit of weight too. That helps with your crawling. Now, I did see a gentleman had a video on where he took the bead locks off and the tires are in fact glued to the rims. So they're not functioning bead locks, but they're definitely, they look cool. They add a little weight to the tires. This is just a front steer, but if you look on the back axle here, they have a steering link and just another link going right to the rear end just to stop it from turning. So if you look on the top of the rear end here, if the camera will pick that up, you can see where the servo mount for the servo goes. It's basically just the exact same diff as what's on the front put on the back. So if you wanted to pick up another servo and a little mounting bracket and steering link, you could very easily make this a rear steer. So that was kind of cool. Just take the body off here. It's actually a fairly cool looking body. I like the paint scheme that's on it. One of the other small downfalls would be it comes with a long antenna tube, and you'd have to cut a hole in the body if you wanted to have the antenna up through the body. But with a rock crawler, I don't know anybody who would really want an antenna sticking up out, because a lot of times with rock crawlers, you're going to have it on its roof. So I cut the tube very short and just kind of rolled the antenna up to stay there in position. I mean, if you got a rock crawler, you're not going to be really far away from it, really, when you're playing with it anyway. So I don't know why they even bother with an antenna tube, why they just didn't put like a short stubby one with a cap on there. The ESC does say waterproof on it. However, if you look at the receiver, it's wide open. So I don't really understand why make a waterproof ESC but not receiver box. Now, obviously you're not going to be, it's a rock crawler. You don't really drive them through a lot of water. You know, there's videos of guys doing that, but they have lots of ground clearance. So, I mean, you could get into some water before you worry about getting your receiver box wet. It doesn't say anything about the motor being waterproof. It's a Redcat 260 small can motor. It's brushed, but probably easily upgradable if you ever did have issues with the motor. I'm sure there's lots of motors with more torque out there that would fit in there. Now, as far as power goes, a full charge of battery, and it has more than enough jam to keep the tires spinning to try and get traction and up over obstacles. As the battery wears down, you might notice a little bit of lack of power, maybe once it's starting to get down towards 10 to 5 to 10 minutes of playtime. Like I said, you seem to get about a half hour playtime out of it off a charge, which I thought was decent. So for anybody wanting to check out the rock crawling rave that's going on and just see what it's all about, and you don't want to spend $300 on a little guy, or even $300 on a really cheap 110 scale. These little 116 scales Redcats are a decent price and a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun playing with this around the house. Like I said, there's lots of videos of these on YouTube. Some guys making modifications to them and whatnot. I just thought I'd put my thoughts into it. The tires are a nice, soft, grippy rubber. Like I said, I haven't had it outside. It's just been really cold up here, and to see what it's like on rocks. But as far around the house as around the house. You can have a lot of fun climbing with it. They seem to get really good traction on just about anything. Because you could drive up to a wall straight on, and this thing will crawl right up until it goes right over on its back. And even if you angle it up to the wall, there's enough articulation, it'll flex, and it's still, you can steer it and climb right back up, straight up on the wall too, which I thought was really neat. I don't have a whole lot of experience with the rock crawlers, like I said, but this is my first. It's also my first Redcat. I'll post some videos if I ever do have any problems with it down the way, but so far so good. A lot of fun. Like I said, I have a video of it climbing over a little wood course I made, if you want to check that out and see one in action. If not, there's all kinds of reviews and videos of these on YouTube anyway. So check them out, and if you want to get into the rock crawling and just have a overall initially low cost to try it out, something with aluminum shock caps, aluminum chassis, aluminum suspension links, a Redcat just maybe for you. Have a good night.